Nice. And welcome back to another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Ariana Grande said it best, 34 plus 35. Episode 69. It's going to be a great one. Mike and I are going to double team this podcast like we've never seen before. Mike, are you good?
Yeah,
what?
I'm great.
I'm just introducing the show. I don't know why you're all excited and laughing. It's kind of throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Are we still in college or what?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Go right ahead, Matt.
How are you?
Oh, I am fabulous, man. You know, things are great. I mean, we're still chugging along with these episodes. We're one away from the big 7-0. We passed Medicaid, the age. Our podcast can now apply for Medicaid. Now I think I always get that confused. Medicaid, Medicare. It's when you're 65 and older you can apply for. I think it's Medicaid because you're age 65. That's how I remember that. So Social Security's still going great, you know. But anywho, let's jump in today's podcast, Matt. Matt, I know we've been so excited with new technology that has been coming out. You know, things have helped us. Things have assisted us. Let's take, for instance, our, podcast itself would not have been possible if it was done remotely through video conferencing app.
Facts.
They want to sponsor us. They certainly can. They know what we're using. But Matt, pets. Pets seem to get a little bit of the shaft, a little bit end of the stick, the short end of the stick, believe it or not, when it comes to them benefiting from technology. I mean, Matt, I think the only thing that was probably super beneficial was probably that almost, I want to say, piece of tech that is their food bowl, and at times when they dump the bowl, like when they refill the bowl and whatnot.
Yes.
Do you remember seeing that?
Yeah, I do. That's clutch.
So, Matt, I don't know if you've have you ever had cats before?
Never. No.
You've never had cats.
We are not a cat family.
Okay. That's okay. Tomato. People like cats, people like dogs, people like both. Some people just don't like humans.
Yep.
But anywho, Matt, you've always probably wanted to know, especially with dogs, how the heck can we know if they're happy or if they're in pain or if they're sad?
That's the saddest thing about owning a pet is you just never know.
And you have to basically take not their word, but you basically have to use your own judgment moving forward, whatever the heck happens to your pets. But Matt, a Calgary, Alberta animal health technology company. Funny. Sylvester.ai. That's the name of the company.
Oh my gosh.
Has developed an app called Tably that uses the phone's camera to tell whether or not a cat is feeling pain.
How is that even possible?
Well, the app looks at ear and head position, eye narrowing, muzzle tension, and how whiskers change to detect stress. A 2019 study published in peer-reviewed journal Scientific Reports found that the so-called, quote, feline grimace scale, or FGS, well, you learn something new every day, FGS, it's not BTS, is a valid and reliable tool for acute pain assessment in cats. So basically, it helps human cat owners know if their cat is in pain or not.
It's interesting. I never really thought this would be possible, but I guess this would be kind of cool. Well, it is kind of cool and helpful for cat owners because I think everyone thinks that cats are grumpy 99.9% of the time. Maybe they're just in pain 99.9% of the time. Maybe they're very stressed out. Maybe the owner threw away their pickle toy because they chew it up, and then they're very sad about that. Who knows?
R.I.P. Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P. So, as we're probably wondering, how is this going to benefit everybody here? Well, of course, it benefits the owner of said cat or feline friend or kitten. But this app could help young veterinarians. This person, Dr. Liz Ruel of the Wild Rose Cat Clinic in Calgary, said that I love working with cats. I've always grown up with cats. For other colleagues, new grads who maybe not had quite so much experience, it can be daunting to know, is your patient painful? Is your patient painful? Is your patient in pain? They misquoted her. But Matt, I think if you are a veterinarian, this is where I have a little confusion here with that quote. if you're a veterinarian, shouldn't you've already had somewhat of an interest in animals?
Great point. Phenomenal point. Yeah, that's like saying a doctor doesn't really want to save your life. That'd be concerning. Probably don't want to go to that doctor. If a vet doesn't really like animals, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to choose that veterinarian. That's a phenomenal point.
So this is where it gets weirder, Matt. So Snapchat, we have the cat filter.
Yes.
Isn't it weird we're kind of doing a reverse filter on a cat now with the phone?
Yeah. That is freaky. That's like some what's the
upside down shit.
Yeah. Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
It's like some Twilight Zone stuff right there.
Could have made a Stranger Things reference, but you didn't. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is very weird. It's like Snapchat just got reversed for cats. It's freaky to think about.
Yet this app cannot help out the movie Cats. That's just an abomination to begin with anyway.
That's true. And also, why don't they have this for dogs?
You know, I think this will probably expand more into the animal category itself. I mean, who knows? We may be able to tell if lizards are in pain by the time that it develops in years to go. But what it does, to wrap up, an app that learns patterns from images of cat faces can be helpful, but cat owners should also look at their pet's whole body, including the tail, for clues about well-being. This was quoted by Alice Porter from British animal charity, the RSPCA. I guess that's a similar SPCA, for those who know. In the arms of an angel. I was really low on that. They were quoted, cats that are worried or scared will hold their tail really tight and tense to them. And then aside from that, there's also just thinking about their behavior in terms of, are they eating, drinking, toileting, sleeping like they usually do? Matt, again, shouldn't you already know these clues? But, you know, like we said, like, we use our best judgment to find out if our animal is sick or in pain. So aren't you just wasting more time with the fact that you're trying to use an app to figure out if cat's in pain? And how accurate is it, too? Probably.
Also, accuracy is a good point. My other thing is, if it's measuring, like, ear position and all that stuff, what if it's just a fat cat?
Yo, there's some big chonkers around here.
There's some chonky cats out there. What does that get taken into consideration? I'd like to know these things.
Who knows? Who knows?
The world may never know.
And speaking of who, Matt,
yes,
it is now time to return to playing a game.
I love games.
I feel like I haven't played a game with you in a while on this podcast.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, I wonder where we're going to play a game next, because it has been a long time.
As the music starts playing. Now, Matt, this gets interesting because this type of game show is called Who Tweeted? So it's a combination of the both here,
okay,
good sir.
I see what we're doing.
Matt, this isn't sports related. This is a bunch of celebrities at one point in their Twitter account tweeted a very interesting tweet. It is multiple choice. There is 8 tweets that I'm going to read to you, one at a time, obviously. There are 4 multiple choices per each. And Matt, they're weird. Let me tell you.
So it's not sport related. Does that mean Ray Allen is not on here?
Ray Allen is unfortunately not on here, just by the judge.
Right.
It is a bunch of singers, actors, actresses, CEOs, entrepreneurs, born in 1964.
Okay. All right. Just as long as I know, I don't even have to be prepared for the Ray Allen tweet.
Yeah, okay. All right, Matt. Here's the first one. The tweet. Saturday night, going check out Avatar. Not the movie. That's what I call my wife's ass. Is it Kanye West, John Stamos, Howie Mandel, or Robert Downey Jr.?
Definitely not Howie Mandel. Big germaphobe. This sounds like Kanye. Final answer.
You are incorrect. It is actually Howie Mandel.
No shot. It is Howie Mandel. He's like the biggest germ. You're not allowed to like shake. If you sneeze in the room with Howie Mandel, he like kicks you out.
Maybe he sanitizes. Let's not get into that.
No, pass.
I'm
going to opt out of that discussion.
All right, Matt, next one. got in yesterday. So Yeaterday. I'm assuming it's yesterday. Got in yesterday. Split a full tub of pasta on the floor. Stupid boy smelly pasta house. Is it Liam Payne, Harry Styles, Kanye West, or Niall Horan?
What the hell was that tweet?
I got in yesterday, split a full, and it's funny, they say full with like a bunch of L's, but there's an exclamation point at the end. It says, tub of pasta on the floor, stupid, boy smelly pasta house.
Kanye, final answer.
You're wrong, it's Liam Payne.
God. Those, oh my gosh. Wow, that's a hell of a tweet. I mean, how many beers?
Wondering. Next one, Matt. Can anyone see me? And the C is actually the letter C, not S-E-E.
Okay.
Is it Joe Jonas, Cher, Doja Cat, or Martha Stewart?
I have a feeling this is Joe Jonas' final answer.
It's incorrect. It's actually Cher.
Damn. I'm off to a rough start.
Yeah. Next one, Matt. Be quiet. Silica gel. Can't you see I'm starving? Now, Matt, that silica gel or the silica gel is those like little bead bags that you usually get like when you purchase things like technology wise or whatnot.
Okay.
Is it like Lee, Lykke, Lee, never heard of him before, Thorm York, Hosier, or Luke Hemmings?
Those aren't real people.
I think it's Hosier. I actually mispronounced it. It's like, take me to church.
Yep. Okay.
I worship like...
I'm going to go with him. Final answer.
I gave it away. You are correct. It's Hosier.
Perfect. Those other three people do not exist. They just don't.
All right, Matt. This next one you might get. Hello, Holland. I have a friend named Tom Holland. Is it Chris Harrison, Zendaya, Demi Lovato, or Chris Pratt? Be careful with this one.
So, see, I think you just tricked me. Because last one, you kind of gave it away. So now this one, you're trying to have me not guess Chris Pratt. Because I have a friend named Tom Holland. That's going to make me go with Zendaya, final answer.
You're a loser. You should have picked Chris Pratt.
I hate you.
The reason why I said that is because Zendaya...
Because you gave away the last one.
No, Zendaya and Tom Holland have been like, it's Tom Daya. They were a couple. Like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I said be careful on this one.
I didn't know that.
Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, like, I don't want to call them the two best of friends, but usually when you see them in the publicity stunt, like, they're always there. So
In Marvel together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know there used to be a thing. I wasn't caught up on my e-news.
Sorry I didn't bring it to you. All right, Matt, another one. Slap on some diapers. Is it Rihanna, Alicia Keys, Kesha, or Pink?
Tough one. Don't know if Kesha's a mom.
Slap on some diapers.
My gut is between Alicia Keys and Pink, so I am going to go with Alicia Keys' final answer.
It's incorrect. It's actually Rihanna.
Was it really?
Under my umbrella.
Damn.
All right, here we go. I think this is the last one. Nope, a couple more. Oh, this the next two. From poop water to poop perfume, I'm amazed by the innovation that's underway in the field of sanitation. Is it Elon Musk, Jeffrey Bezos, Bill Gates, or John Oliver?
Does Bill Gates have a Twitter account?
He does.
Interesting. That feels like an Elon Musk tweet, so I'm going to go Elon Musk.
Ah, dude, if only you knew Bill Gates actually made Jimmy Fallon drink poop water that was sanitized. It's Bill Gates.
I did not know that. Damn.
Yeah.
I would have bet money that Bill Gates didn't even have a Twitter account.
There's literally a picture of him smelling poop. Smelling sanitation almost. All right, Matt, last one. Let's do it. Here I come. Quack, 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 quack. Dot dot dot. Duck, ducks, ducks, ducks. Dot dot dot. Woohoo! Is it Justin Bieber, Luke Hemmings, James McAvoy, or Liam Payne? McAvoy or Liam Payne?
Bieber's Canadian. So I'm going to go, this is tough. I'm going to say Bieber, final answer.
You are correct. It is
Let's
Jay
go.
Biebs.
Don't ask me how the Canadian part gave it away.
Well, Matt, I took this test myself. I only got 2 correct too. So
okay, that makes me feel better.
You've rounded up. It is 2 out of 8 score. You scored better than 39% of all other quiz takers.
Oh, that was a pretty tough quiz, but it was fun.
Apparently, we're both Twitter toddlers. You're not the best at guessing whose tweets are from, but you'll get them next time. Jerks.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, those first 2 tweets easily could have came from Kanye.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
We've seen Kanye tweet a lot of different crap. It's a little interesting.
He's a character.
Very interesting character. All right, Matt. Time for the final topic of today. In the first half of episode 69, the first 6, then the 9. Here we are. Matt, full-time employee, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's it been?
It's been the same. Oh, you good?
Yeah, just dropped my coaster. The
Oh,
coaster stuck to my
I thought
cup.
you spilled the beer.
Nope, I'm okay. It's not beer, it's actually soda.
Oh, okay, road soda. Yeah, no, it's been fine. I basically am still doing the same stuff I've been, just now with a different title. So it's been nice.
Now you are in a unique field where you do not work Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 in most cases.
Not every week.
Not
correct.
every week.
Right.
It's
a lot of 12-hour days.
Right.
Yep.
So, Matt, for those who work 5 days a week, people are now starting to think that maybe a 4-day work week is actually the way that it should go. I'd love to have a discussion based on this. So let me lay out the news for you. This was by BuzzFeed. Participants in a 4-year study in Iceland got to answer that question for real. From 2015 to 2019, 2,500 people, roughly 1% of Iceland's population, shifted from a traditional full-time 5-day work week schedule to 35 or 36-hour 4-day weeks with no reduction in pay. The trial included a wide variety of professions outside of office workers, including daycare staff, hospital workers, and police. The result? Productivity either increased or stayed about the same across the board. Employees reported less burnout, and employers were happy with the results too. One manager quoted in the report said, "For me, it is a gift from the heavens."
Wow.
And a report by the Association for Democracy and Sustainability and the think tank Autonomy says that as of now, 86% of Iceland's population has already either made the switch to this shorter schedule or has gained the right to negotiate for a shorter week.
That's awesome.
What's the United States doing, Matt?
I don't know. It's a great question. People are starting to ask. I feel like, it does make sense. I don't know. Like, 5-day work weeks do drag on. And there's days where you're busy and there's a lot of days that you're not. So if you make it a 4-day work week, one, people are going to work harder because they only have 4 days to get their stuff done. And two, I think they'll enjoy coming to work more because they'll have an extra day off every week that they don't have to be in work.
You know, I've noticed, Matt, just depending, and this isn't obviously like what I'm compared to like work now, but just in the past, when you're given a shorter amount of time, you actually produce more work because you have to prioritize more of your tasks and objectives. So instead of having that full 5-day week, that's one day taken out. And in most cases, like for some people, I mean, I've done it before. I mean, I feel like I don't do it now because I always carry everything over to the next week. You kind of tie loose ends on Friday. Like, yes. Friday's meant to tie loose ends. Mondays just get back in the groove of it. Really, in reality, you're only working 3 days out of the 5, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you think about it. That's when you're actually like head deep into like new projects, working on projects, finishing up projects. Monday and Fridays are just kind of like
I feel like Mondays, you're catching up on emails you got over the weekend and planning on the projects for the week. And then Friday, making sure you have everything done for the week. And then maybe starting to prep next week. But you're right. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are like the not big work days. And I'm not saying I don't work hard Monday and Fridays. I work hard. I think I work hard every day.
Yeah.
But you're right. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're like, it's nitty gritty. Like you're getting into it because you know you got to get the stuff done for the week.
Agreed. And even that, like, I'm just trying to like formulate, because it made me think a little bit. Like, even with Monday, like today was a catch up for me. Like today I had to get some emails, plan ahead for the rest of the next couple weeks. I mean, I kind of try to stay 1 week ahead at times, but I think Iceland is onto something here. I mean, look at, this isn't from a personal perspective, but like, look at people when they worked from home. Now companies are deciding that they should continue a work from home policy. Twitter just said, absolutely. Here's Twitter again, our favorite app. Twitter app said you can work for as long as for the rest of your life working from home from Twitter. And then you have these people that are trying to strong arm these people like Facebook. Facebook's trying to, or Apple, it's Apple. Apple's trying to strong arm their employees and coming back. But then this union's fighting back and saying, like, we're doing the same amount of work, we're accomplishing the same tasks. And, I think this could be a little bit more incentivizing too. What if a company ends up saying, oh, we only do 4-day weeks? How incentivizing is that to you as a potential employee to apply for a job in that field?
Yeah, it's very incentivizing because you get 3-day weekends. Like, who doesn't love a 3-day weekend? Would you probably get less vacation time? Maybe. But if you're only working 4 days a week, you don't need all that vacation time. For the working from home, as long as you get your job done and you're performing well, who cares where you work from?
Right.
Like, if you work from home, if you work, like, I don't know, if you have like a job that's all online, like, go to the beach. If you have access on the beach, do your job on the beach. Like, who cares where you are? If you're in the office, it doesn't really matter. And for companies, like, if their employees are able to be productive and work well from home, guess how much money you're going to save not having to have an office space? Like, if you just provide them with, like, the technology they need, that's pretty sweet. Like, that's a sweet deal for both sides.
And electricity too. How much you're saving on electricity?
Yes, everything.
at your workplace.
Yeah, I mean, printers, paper, staples, post-it notes, pens, all this stuff adds up. And it just, I understand that's what we've done forever, but just because we've done it forever doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, I mean, we're running into this whole traditional work. Like, you worked Monday through, they always say the Monday through Friday, the 9 to 5. But really, in reality, are people working from a traditional 9 to 5 if you're actually that passionate about your job? Not really.
I check my emails at night. Do I enjoy it? No, but when I get a notification, it's hard for me to not open that email and see what it's about.
Especially when I send Matt a 2 a.m. you up email.
Well, I always make sure that one's on. Yeah. And the other thing is, people, like I said, people are going to work harder if it's 4-day weeks. You'll be able to wean out the workers that don't work hard, because it'll be very easy to say, hey, we're working 4 days a week, you got to work hard. If they don't, you cut them, bring someone in that does, productivity goes up even more.
You're right, Matt. That's actually a really good point. Just the simple fact that you're giving a shorter time frame, which then is quicker deadlines. Like, by your Monday, you need to be catching up from the weekend, but also starting your projects on that Monday, because you do not have an extra day. I feel like traditionally we run into that day where you just have a day where you're just catching up, and you have a day where you're tying loose ends and getting ready for the weekend. Like, there's no excuse for that. And I think that's what showed in Iceland's study based on that. And I think they're making the right decision. Now, would I say that, would I be like, let's just say my workplace 4-day week. Would I take that Friday? I think I would likely take the Friday, but I feel like I would still work part of that. Like, I would technically get, again, the tying the loose ends thing, like making sure you're ready for the week because you want to prioritize your focus that Monday through Thursday, those important projects and objectives that you need to complete. Whereas like Friday, I'm like, oh, getting back to an email that I couldn't get back to during the work week because of the tighter deadlines for that.
Right, and I don't think people would do that every Friday. Like, there's going to be sometimes you're going to want a 3-day week, or maybe you take off a Thursday and you have a 4-day weekend, whatever. But yes, I think companies would say, if you guys want to come in for a few hours on a Friday, if you work in the office, go ahead. If you want to work from home for a little bit on Friday, go ahead. Now, obviously, if you get paid by the hour, probably not going to do that. But if your salary, that's a nice incentive to have of saying, hey, on Fridays, if you want to work for a little bit, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. I had two other thoughts. It would suck if you like take off a whole week, like vacation time the whole week, and coming back and you only have 4 days to catch up. That would get tough, but you'd be able to adjust. And also, it'd be good for the economy. It would. I mean, if people have more time, more free time, they're going to go out and spend more money. Maybe invest in a vacation home. Maybe.
But here's the worry, Matt. So let's just say 4-day work weeks get implemented. What is that going to do for the economy? Like, let's say a shop says, we're going to do 4 days a week too, because everyone else is doing it.
I mean, yes, but that's up to the shop. I mean, I feel like most places would probably stay open now that they know, like, how many people, like, for example, at my work, sometimes people have to come pick up things.
Yeah.
If they have off on Fridays, now granted, if the other place has off Fridays too, but you can arrange, maybe you have half the office have off this Friday, the other half has off next Friday, you work things out. Like, people will have more time to do more things.
I have one final thought to wrap up.
Okay.
The work week, besides higher ed, I feel like elementary and middle school should be only a 4-day week too.
I don't know about that.
Are you sure about that?
I don't. Yeah, I'm not quite sure because.
And here's my thought behind it, Matt. Again, we're taking a look at productivity and all these things. If you can have those students focused for those 4 days, I feel like you'd get more motivation to get out of them, especially in high school too, for the upcoming weeks of 4-day weeks instead of a full 5-day week. Like, when you go to school on a Friday, it's like, yeah, it's Friday. Like, we don't have to worry about anything. And then there's that one teacher that's like, we're taking a test on Friday. And it's like,
My only problem is that's just going to move to Thursday. They're going to say the same thing about Thursday. I feel like high school, middle school, elementary school kids, I don't think they would adjust to it as well as like grown adults. I think that, and especially like how much material you get crammed in high school. It'd be a lot to cram it in a 1 day less a week.
Well, maybe it's more evaluation. Like, I have a whole thing about education, which I will say for another topic for another day. But Matt,
so, like, no tests on Fridays is what you're saying?
Nah, it's a lot more outside of.
Okay.
It's more than just the days of the week. It's a lot more within the educational system.
Okay.
So that's perks of higher ed. But it's Friday, everybody, if you're listening for the first day. So
Friday.
It's not, your day's not off. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Matt's got the sports. Let's say you start a podcast or you're running your own side hustle and have a bunch of links that you want your audience to know about. As a podcast, Matt and I have all of our social media, all of our podcast links, and other important things. Make it easier for your followers to find your important links, social media, and latest content by having it all in one page with solo.to. I'll be honest, I have used similar websites like this, but nothing compares to solo.to. All of your links are clean and easy to navigate. Have an upcoming video? It's really easy to make those changes. Plus, solo.to has opportunities to upgrade to include more customization, advanced analytics, and so much more. Solo.to is giving us a special opportunity for you to get 10% off if you create an account and upgrade. Be sure to go to solo.to/funnybusiness to create your account today. Solo.to, it's the way to go. Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So, Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh, man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time. Hey, guys, it's Mike again, but unfortunately, on an editor's note, Matt's XLR cord was giving him a little trouble during his sports half of the show. We are taking care of it. We are ordering new ones, but you may hear some feedback during this part of the show. We do apologize for that, but we appreciate your patience and understanding when we get the new equipment.
Okay, let's slide into the sports topics we have for you all today. Mike, breaking news. Breaking news.
Oh, I saw it. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're good. Mavs guard star player Luka Doncic, a 5-year, $207 million extension. Probably well deserved.
Supermax.
Yeah, got the Supermax. This was a smart move. Dallas had to do it. I mean, there's really nothing else you can say other than that.
The next Dirk.
Maybe.
As far as like loyalty to
for the Mavs,
yes.
Right, and also both foreign players. Dirk from Germany, Luka from Slovenia.
Yes, sir.
Other basketball news, Mike. Against all odds, Team USA, men's and women's. Well, we all knew the women's were going to win gold, but USA men's basketball team comes home with the gold, beating France in the finals, coming back from 15 down against Australia in the semifinals. I don't know how they did it.
Pour the Lobos, everybody. Pour the Lobos. Because obviously LeBron didn't participate, so obviously his tequila has to.
Right, but did you see what he did?
No, what'd he do?
So, like, 8 hours after they won gold medals, he quote tweeted a tweet that was like highlights of him against like Slovenia in like a FIBA basketball tournament, going 11 from 11 from the field. It was so perfectly LeBron. Like you couldn't script it any better.
See, Matt, this USA win here, and this might possibly be a hot take. Just the fact that we thought, like, yes, like I'm assuming you were saying sarcastically, like against all odds, like USA basketball came back.
Yes and no, because they were bad for a stretch.
They were trash. They were.
Right.
We said it a couple weeks ago that they were trash. But just having, it's not an Olympic story. Like, it's not somebody where it's like Uzbekistan's 34-year-old gymnast. Like, it is not the young skater who won skateboarding gold from United States. Like, it wasn't a story, that was, I don't want to say a miracle on ice, but that's what I'm thinking of. Like the fact that, oh my gosh, they beat so-and-so, like they just beat France again after they got their asses handed to them in the first round. It was better scouting.
I think you're right. Like we all joked like they might not win a medal, but like I still expected them to win gold because it's the USA basketball team. Like that's what they should do. It was neat watching the games because obviously there's international rules different from the NBA rules. Not so much. Moving on. So the NBA official Twitter handle announced that beginning with the Summer League and effective for the 2021-22 season, game officials will enforce the playing rules in a manner that reduces the incentive for offensive players to use non-basketball moves to draw fouls. And they released a 7-part thread of the rule changes. And bravo, NBA. We're going to run through them. Mike, I think we can all agree these are fantastic.
These are really good, especially, NBA official is obviously like the league office and officiating rules for clarifications. Underrated Twitter account as far as like a side sub brand for like, because I
agree.
I actually like, there's times when there's calls that come up and then it's like, oh yeah, well there should have been this, but like they admit it and directly and immediately, which is cool. But Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I think they do weird is the last 2-minute report, because I don't understand why you would admit you got a call wrong. That part seems odd to me, but I digress. Let's move on. So, 4 major rule changes, and what's cool is they also provided video evidence as to like what is and isn't a foul. So the first one, well, it goes on to say, non-basketball moves used by offensive players to initiate contact with defenders will include when the first one, the shooter launches or leans into a defender at an abnormal angle. This was by far the most annoying rule. When you shoot in practice, you jump straight up. When you're in a game and you jump sideways into a defender to try to shoot, why did they even call these fouls to begin with? It makes no sense.
It makes a huge difference, especially for the defender. A defender can actually properly defend and block a shot without having to worry about getting a stupid foul. Because that's all it is. It is a stupid foul and it's not, and everybody looks at like, oh my gosh, why were you jumping? You were jumping to try to block the frickin' ball. And you're going to tell me that me actually jumping to block in not a direct contact way, like actually jumping towards the person and not having a safe spot to land, I'm playing defense, and I'm playing good defense because they tried shooting and then they have literally last resort lean into me and draw a foul from that. So I was so happy when I saw that first one. I'm like, yes, get rid of that.
And you're right, because especially like if you're going straight at the guy, like that's what you're supposed to do, is go put a hand in your face. You shouldn't have to worry about the defender, who's probably just trying not to get a shot blocked, jumping into you. Like that,
Right.
That should never be a thing.
Right.
The second one, the offensive player abruptly veers off his path, sideways or backwards, into a defender. Pretty much the same as rule 1, just like moving in different directions.
Off ball movement.
Right. The third one, and I'm glad for this one. The shooter kicks his leg or up to the side at an abnormal angle.
Again, like you said, you should land both feet down unless you're off balance. But even that, you shooting, there's nobody in this entire league, that shoots with their legs kicked out. No one. There's nobody. Why try to do it to cause a foul?
And it's stupid because it's a bigger risk of like injury. Like kicking your leg out, you're just trying to get yourself hurt.
Injury for both the defender and yourself. So
yes,
it's a possibility of both of you.
Yeah, because if you think about it, they added that defensive rule that you have to let the shooter land, like you can't get underneath his feet. So if you stick your leg out and jump down, you could like roll your ankle on the defender. The defender could hurt himself too. It makes no sense.
Poor James Harden.
Yeah, and Draymond Green.
Draymond.
Yeah, honestly, this whole rule changes. Well, let me say the last one, and then we'll get into who it affects. The last one, the offensive player's off arm hooks the defender, often in the process of attempting a shot in a non-basketball manner. So, for those at home that don't quite know, Chris Paul was very guilty of this all the time. He would take the basketball from his right hand, swoop it like he's going to the left side of his body, but hook the defender's arm and then act like he's trying to shoot. Chris Paul was phenomenal at this, and he got a foul called every single time. A lot of guys did this, and it was the most annoying thing ever because they would call a shooting foul, or sometimes they would call it the regular foul, but defenders just got his arm there. Like, if the defender's got his arm in legal guarding position, just because the offensive player moves his arm to hit it doesn't mean it's a foul on the defender.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. I mean, it's gamesmanship. Like, you know, I mean, put it this way. I mean, I've said this podcasts early. Dwayne Wade is probably by far the best shot faker ever to draw a foul the proper way. But sometimes he kind of drew that line now in terms of officiating with the new rules, but I think you're going to start to see better ball playing. I feel like I'm a little upset because over the back calls are a ton that happen in NBA playoff, especially the freaking playoffs this year, and especially the finals. There's too many over the back calls that were not called. Yeah, that should have been changed. I do like what I saw with FIBA rules that if the ball's not actually going in the net, you can actually whack it. Like, I saw Draymond Green do it. I'm like, wait, what? And then the announcer's like, that's perfectly legal in Olympics. I'm like, what?
I love FIBA rules. I think the NBA should adopt a lot of them. They're really good. The way they call fouls, not just shooting fouls, but like regular fouls, they let them play, be more aggressive. Two things. We'll get into players that really are going to have to change their game. Why did they just have to announce this after the season? We were talking about this the whole season. Make these changes in the middle of the season. Yeah. Like, if you know it's a problem, address it. Don't just let a whole season go by and let it happen. Like, address it when it happens. I don't understand why they had to wait so long.
Are you aware, Mr. Sports Guy, if they've ever made a change mid-season? You don't have to know right away.
So, not like a change like this, but what'll happen is, I know I've heard a lot of podcasts and former players that say this. So teams will complain to the league that let's say the Suns.
Yeah.
So the Suns and Monty Williams, James Jones, the GM, will go to league and say Devin Booker's not getting the fouls that other guys are getting, and they'll provide video evidence. And then what happens is the league relays this to the officials, and then the officials going into a game will maybe give Devin Booker some more calls. That's what happened with the whole Tim Donaghy situation. That's why he had that inside information of, I think it was the finals when the Lakers were playing the Nets or something like that. Mm-hmm. The Lakers were complaining Shaq wasn't getting a lot of calls. So Donaghy was refereeing that game, got the notification from the league like, hey, be on the look for this. And then Donaghy did his thing. That's why he's not an official anymore.
See, that turns to it almost turns to, I don't want to say bargaining, but that turns to really bad bias. Like, it's challenging. That's I don't like that.
That's probably the only thing they've done. I don't think they've made rule changes like this before. So players this affects: James Harden, obviously. Chris Paul, obviously. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Trae Young, because this is like 75% of Trae Young's game.
Steph Curry too.
He's guilty of it. He was one of the video examples that they posted.
That's why I said it.
Yeah. I think mostly guards are like shooters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, the guards and shooters have a little bit more, I guess, free play when it comes to calls like this, whereas more so forwards and big guys, you're more so just going for the brute force of a foul call instead of a tricky call like this happening. So yeah, I'm really I'm happy with these changes. They need a little bit more, I don't want to say butter, but they need a little bit more validity with their play calling, because I saw the finals and I call it from an officiating standpoint. Like, I think I was sharing with you that whole night with Devin Booker getting 9 fouls that night. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. And I'm hoping that there's at least the, what do you call it? The reality of it. The consistency and the reality of it. You could be consistently bad. You could be consistently good. You cannot be inconsistent. Anything with officiating.
I agree. So shout out the NBA. Shout out USA Basketball. Shout out new Suns center JaVale McGee, who is a gold medalist and a 3-time champion. He is also the first son-mother combo to win gold at the same... No, mother.
Really?
Yep, because his mother is still alive, in case anyone was wondering. Did you see that clip?
I did not, actually.
Yeah, very similar. JaVale was announced as a late addition to Team USA and was doing a press conference over Zoom. And the reporter asked, JaVale, I can't remember, is your mom still with us? And JaVale's like, is my mom alive? Yeah, my mom's alive. That's a weird question to ask, man. Like, who the hell asked that question?
Oh yeah, now I remember that. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
very bizarre.
So
Very bizarre.
stupid.
So
How
shout out to
bizarre.
him. How bizarre indeed. Another bizarre scenario. Moving on to the NFL. Mike, believe it or not, NFL training camp is here. NFL preseason is here. And this is always the time of year where some players maybe aren't too happy with their contracts, maybe looking for a little more money or a little more loyalty from the team. We saw Bills quarterback Josh Allen got like a $240 million contract, got like $150 million guaranteed, which is crazy. And then you have players like Dolphins cornerback Xavier Howard, who was threatening, not really threatening, well, he was kind of threatening the Dolphins that if they did not trade him or give him a new contract, he was going to sit out. Wasn't going to practice, wasn't going to play, everything like that. Which is not uncommon to see, especially in the NFL. A lot of guys do this. But I wanted to see your thoughts on players sitting out or requesting a trade in this scenario over a contract salary. And before you give your answer, I will say Howard is back with the team. They restructured his deal. He might be a free agent after the season now, but he is back with the team now. But your thoughts on a holdout, as they can also get fined for holding out over a new salary contract?
Well, I mean, it goes without saying that if someone's threatening to sit out, if you really have the team, I don't want to say built around you, but like, let's just say Xavier Howard, like the Dolphins were expecting to build a team around Xavier Howard. You could probably admit the coaching staff's probably be like, all right, whatever, fine, sit out. We don't care. Like, I mean, if they weren't as good, I think players are using their skill as a marketability and negotiation because, to me, I think, and let's just all be real here. NFL players, NBA players, MLB players, they get paid ridiculous amounts of money.
They do.
When it comes towards anything, contracts, brand deals, all this crap. So do you remember what his original contract standing was, Xavier Howard's?
I'm going to Google it because I'm pretty sure he was just drafted by the Dolphins.
So let me just a $10 million contract. I know that's very low in some scenarios, but a $10 million contract, let's say I had a set of skill and it's like a raise. You're not going to ask if you're making $50,000 a year. You're not going to ask for a $30,000 raise after literally not playing the season. It's a shot in the dark for the Dolphins. Like, do we keep them happy or do we just risk them not like doing anything with them? I don't like it, to me, in my own opinion. I mean, unless they've been working year after year, coming up with not realities, but coming up with outputs and goals and achieving them. Yeah, I could see that. It's negotiation. But outright drafted and all of a sudden just restructures a contract because he's not getting enough. It's immature. That's the best way to put it.
I agree and disagree. So Xavier Howard was drafted by the Dolphins, a second round pick, in 2016. So this was going to be his first real contract that he could negotiate. To any money he wanted. And being a second round draft pick is a lot less money than being a first round draft pick.
Right.
So in this scenario, I can kind of understand it. Let me pull up the stats that I had from him. Where were they? He led the NFL with 10 interceptions and 20 passes defended last season. Was named first team All-Pro. He, since coming into the league in 2016, has 22 interceptions and 55 passes defended. And only one cornerback, Ravens cornerback Marcus Peters, has more interceptions during that time. So, since he got drafted 5 years ago, he has been playing like one of the best cornerbacks in the league and is the reason the Dolphins have a pretty good defense right now. So in this scenario, I understand it. What I don't understand is Aaron Rodgers maybe isn't the best example of this because he hates the Packers. But when a player signs, let's say gets drafted by, I'll pick a random team, the Titans. Let's say he jumps ship and goes to the Bengals. If he starts playing better than his contract then, if he then decides he wants to sit out. Because you chose that salary, you chose to go to that team.
Right. You signed the contract.
Right. That scenario, I wouldn't really agree with it. The Steelers, right now, TJ Watt, their star defensive player, best defensive player they have, he is not sitting out. He might be sitting out, actually, for a new contract. Again, got drafted in 2017, looking for a new contract. He's been one of the best defensive players in the league. I understand that.
Right.
So I think there's a fine line to be drawn on being greedy and wanting to make sure you're getting paid what you should. Like, if it's your first contract that you're trying to negotiate after your rookie deal, I get it. If you're a veteran and you're trying to look for more money, I don't understand that.
But all in all, everyone gets paid a ridiculous amount of money to be a professional sports player.
Rookies, not so much. But yes, they do. And again, do professional athletes get paid way too much money? Yes. However, these sports organizations and leagues make billions. They can't afford to pay them less because there'd be so many lawsuits of,
right,
you guys are making millions, how come I'm only making like 20 grand a year?
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, yes, but again, it is what it is.
You're right.
Yes. Final topic today, Mike. It's something that came out a while ago that we have not yet discussed.
Excuse me.
Tickle in my throat. I'm good. Thank you. The Cleveland, currently known as the Cleveland Indians, going to be formerly known as the Cleveland Indians, changing their name to the Cleveland Guardians. Thoughts on the new name?
I'm okay with the name. I'm not okay with when it's changed.
Explain that.
To me, if you're so there is a reason why they are changing the name. We all know that. That's the elephant in the room that we don't need to go into huge discussion about.
Yep.
I loved how much of a quote stink they made of it. And then I see this video and like I'm seeing it shared and I'm like, oh my gosh, they changed the name. And I'm typing Cleveland Guardians in Twitter and it's not showing up. Like, you make the announcement and it's not changed. It's still there. So while the elephant in the room is still there, you make this big ordeal that you're changing your name to the Cleveland Guardians, and yet you're still sticking with the Cleveland Indians right now. That's the thing I don't like.
Yeah, they said they were changing their name, so why not just wait till after the season and change your name? Like, the Washington football team announced after this coming season, they're going to change their name. They didn't say, hey, we're going to be the Washington Red Tails and then still be called the Washington football team this season. Like, once you announce you're going to change your name, change your name.
Right.
Makes no sense. Have you seen the logos?
It's a big red G.
They're disgusting.
Yeah,
bad.
Look it up.
Yeah, if you can look it up. Very bad. A lot of people weren't a fan of the name Guardians. However, there's statues in Cleveland, like big statues, that are called the Guardians. So that makes a little bit more sense. But the logos, I mean, it looks like someone made it on word art.
I'm already seeing Drax, Star-Lord, Gamora, and all of them coming together for the first day. It's Guardians of the Galaxy.
It would have, this is probably copyright, but it would have been funny if they called themselves the Guardians of Cleveland.
The Guardians of Cleveland.
That would have been awesome. But yeah, overall, I don't really think I have an opinion on it because they're still not called the Guardians.
Yeah, I do like the intention. I just don't like how it was presented. The fact that you're waiting, you announced it, but you haven't changed it yet. You're going to change it after the season. You should have just announced it at the end of the season.
And my big thing, when you do a rebrand, do a full rebrand. Like, change your colors. They didn't change the colors.
Change the colors.
Change the font. The word Guardians looks exactly like the wording does now for the Indians. Change it up. Like, do something. If you're gonna rebrand. It's really not that hard. Like, this is it's trash in my opinion. I know I just said I didn't have an opinion on it. I do now. It's trash.
That's okay. And I'm actually seeing these Guardians that are at the bridge. Those are pretty cool.
They're badass. Yeah.
I'd be scared if I was on the bus, like a high school team coming through, and there's two Guardians that you pass by. Or like, oh.
Yeah, you don't want to pass those Guardians in a dark alley. Not at all. That concludes the sports topics we have for you all today. It is time for Down in the Dumps. I believe I went first last week for
the inaugural.
Last week's end segment. Yes, I did. So I'll let you go first this time.
All right. Well, Matt, my first one, and I'll throw it back to you for your first. How many do you have? 2? 1?
I don't. I don't know. I have a few.
Okay.
You can just go through yours first.
Well, so it's a 2-parter, but technically I'm going to combine it into one. I've been having like not issues, but like straight up just like a hard time with my apartment lately. So the first thing is I usually have one of those air fresheners that kind of has this nice orange peel smell to it, Matt. I think you remember smelling it a little bit visiting. Yep. So I relocated it because I had to relocate a bunch of electrical things, technology wise, from one side to the other. And I have it at one outlet, and it's the one outlet that has two inputs. One is controlled by a light switch. The other is controlled as is when you plug it in. I've had my air freshener in the plug, let's say maybe about a month now, and just didn't realize that I plugged in the one where I need to turn on the light switch. So it hasn't been used at all.
That's tough. That's unfortunate.
And of course, like I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, it does it on its own. I don't have to worry about it. And nope, it was there. So once I switched on the other outlet, you could smell fresh flowers and frolicking in the fields.
I can relate to that because I currently just looked at my battery percentage on my laptop and I am at 12% because I forgot to flip my switch. So before this podcast,
let me talk about
the
next one. Yeah, okay, Matt. Bye, Matt. I hope you find your charger. All right, guys. While we got this podcast, what, Matt? What? What's going on, Matt?
Headphones unplugged. I can't hear you.
Oh, well, aren't you gonna get your charger?
Okay, we're back, everybody.
Oh, darn. We were gonna take over the world, Matt, without you. Another thing was, can you hear me, Matt? Another thing was, I actually relocated my security camera to a different part of the apartment. Not gonna explain where. The fact, I was like, okay, I need to hammer a few things. I can't find my hammer. I remember having this hammer for years now, and I'm thinking to myself, where the hell is this hammer that I have? It's just, you know what I used, Matt?
What?
I used my bottle opener that like is 3 pounds because it looks heavy. It was a small hammer. Like it was a small hammer, but yeah,
it's a smart idea. Hey, well, you can use anything as a hammer.
Yeah.
But you probably should find that at some point.
Yeah, I really don't know where it is, Matt. I really don't. And then the last thing, I was grateful enough that I received a gift from a family, just because of, I'd say, good deeds and whatnot. I helped somebody change their tire in the car in the middle of the winter. They got in an accident, changed their tire. I got a $25 gift card, so I thought to myself, oh, okay, I'm gonna just buy an Amazon gift card, so I have $25 gift card of Amazon. I've had this card now for about a month now in my quote pocket in my digital wallet. I have yet to find use to buy any Amazon products. And you know me, Matt. You know how easy it is for me to get Amazon products because I know something out there that's like, oh yeah, I can definitely get this.
True.
I've been in the drought, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, gift cards are fantastic. I love getting gift cards. But yeah, it is weird because when you have it, you're like, all right, well, I don't really need anything. So like, what do I use it on? And then you feel weird, not weird, but you feel bad that you haven't used it because you want to say like, hey, use your gift card. I got this. but like you don't really have to use it. But the good thing is with Amazon, you know, at some point you're going to use it.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the good thing. It's not like you got a gift card to like Macy's. If you don't shop at Macy's, like what do you do with the gift card Macy's kind of deal?
You know what the hardest gift card is?
Visa.
No, actually,
Visa's probably the easiest.
I got a Visa gift card and I turned it into an Amazon card. That's what I did. Movie cards.
Yeah.
Movie theater cards.
Yep.
Because it's not only you have to figure out, you know, obviously to see if it's eligible, because there's only some movie theaters that you can go to for the purchase with the gift card.
Yep.
But then you also have to plan out what the heck type of movie you want to see to use the gift card.
And there's not always a movie you want to see.
No, there's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They are the worst.
Those are the most challenging ones, in my opinion.
I would agree. I think that's is that all?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. I don't know if I mentioned this to you at the top of the show. I believe I did. It is 90 degrees all week, and my air conditioner in my car just decided, you know what? I'm not going to work this week.
Did you black out or something?
I almost did.
No, meaning like before we started, did you like black out? Because you literally told me that. You're like, oh, that's a thing for down in the dumps.
Yes. No, I probably did black out. Yeah, it blows a little bit, but I was hotter in my car than I was when I parked outside in the garage and stepped outside of my car. And now also,
isn't it?
It is, and now I'm going to have to pay for it to get fixed. Thank God I'm full-time now. And speaking of that, I love being full-time, happy to be full-time. But when everyone says, what are you most excited about? You know what I tell them? You know what I tell them when I'm most excited about now that I'm full-time? That I can put it in for a 401k. And you know what? That means I'm getting old. Like I'm not excited about having a bigger salary or job security. No, I'm excited that I can put into my 401k. Which means I'm just getting old and I'm going to die soon.
Matt, you want to know something more that I actually heard from Jenna's sister Margot this past weekend?
What?
We've been out of college now for 3 years.
I don't like that.
3 full years. And she said that, and I thought to myself, I'm like, no, Margot. I'm like, 1, 2. I'm like, oh my God, 3 years?
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's nuts. And then my final one, the Yankees can't stop getting COVID. And they're like
Rizzo,
almost
right?
all fully vaccinated. Yeah, Rizzo, Sanchez, Garrett Cole.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
We just never can remain healthy, no matter what way, shape, or form.
They're hot, though. Yanks are hot. They are 5.5 out of the division, and they're 2.5 games behind Boston.
I do have to say and give a shout out to Steve Reed, because the Phillies are first place after quite a phenomenal performance for a Mets sweep.
Yeah, the Phils are hot. 8 in a row as of Monday. Very hot.
Fighting Phils.
Yep, fighting Phils. Also, we should probably talk, as of yesterday of this release, Field of Dreams game. Yankees,
Yes.
White Sox in Iowa. That field looks freaking awesome.
It does.
The prices, I think there's only like 8,000 people, like seats or something like that. There's not a seat that's less than $1,000.
Huh.
But that would be one where it'd be worth.
Hmm.
Like it would totally be worth paying the money to go to that.
Part of history too, if you think about it.
Did you see the uniforms they're wearing?
Lightly.
Google them.
Yankees are kind of like a light, like retro, like Babe Ruth would wear.
Yes.
Type of deal.
They're very nice. The White Sox ones are phenomenal.
I think I saw the White Sox one.
Like the pinstripe thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so awesome.
This reminds me of MVP Baseball 2005, and you're able to pick the retro jerseys, and these are the retro jerseys.
They're so awesome. That game's gonna be sick.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. That'll be really cool. Anything else, Matt, down in the dumps?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I really hope not.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad we aired out our grievances in today's podcast of episode 69. Nice.
Came to a quick finish.
You missed my joke. You missed my joke at the when you were talking about your car wasn't blowing air. Like it was only blowing a little, and I was like, frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of bonks in this episode.
Bonks. Yeah. If there's any other show to get canceled on, it's this episode.
Yeah.
Whatever. Sponsorships. Maybe we'll get more. Who knows?
Roman swipes.
Oh, man. Well, that concludes another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Thank you so much for listening this far. If you haven't tuned out us already, or you're just about to get to your destination, hopefully you arrive safely and in one piece. Make sure you follow us on our social media. You can find all of our social media at solo.to/funnybusiness. One big announcement. We are so close. We Twitch, by the way, if that's what the cool kids say now. We live stream. We are almost to affiliate. So what that means is we might have the opportunity to be able to be paid to play video games. And I don't know about you, Matt. Even if it's like $2, like we're just playing video games. We're crying out loud. But yeah, could you imagine? Every month we get one free lunch because we stream.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
So we're 45 followers at the moment. At the last time that I checked, we need 50. And then we also need at least an average of 3 viewers within our stream. So if you have the time, we'd love to have you there. We will talk to you. You can talk about anybody from Take It down in the dumps. We're pretty active in the chat.
Talk about anything you want.
Really, because we need it. You can find that twitch.tv/funnybusinessen. En, like E is an echo, and then N.
Nancy.
Matt, advice. I feel like it's been a while since we said advice, but we haven't because it's been a while since we've recorded.
Yeah. This advice is, to be honest, I didn't prepare advice, but this advice is just for one person only. Just drop the album, Kanye. Just drop it.
Drop the album.
Just do it. Like, that's another down in the dumps. I've cared people have been complaining so much about Kanye dropping the album. I now check like twice a day to see if he dropped the album. And I don't even listen to Kanye all the time. So just drop the album. Just do it.
I've been listening to his let's say his church album that he has.
I've heard it's not bad.
It's good. I actually watched his live stream performance at like that House of God or whatever it is, House of Christians. I don't know, yes. House of Weirdos.
Whoa.
It was a nice performance. What?
I'm just saying, whoa.
Oh, come on, Matt.
I'm just saying. Just drop it.
Drop the album, Kanye. We'll keep dropping episodes. But until the next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.